Good afternoon. This is Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. Forgive the stutter or the hesitation. I had to check the time. I have been running around like a madman so far and haven't had my camera in the hand yet. Some of you will be happy to notice clean windows. I did that for you guys. A lot of people were mentioning that the windows, if I'm going to stand and look out the window, I should clean the window. I did. They're old, so there's some scrapes and scratches that aren't going to come out, but it's a second-hand door. But it makes a difference. I'm happy I did it. So thank you for pushing me to clean my door window. Really looks nice. So, any flaws you see are either permanent in the glass or from my camera, which is always dirty. I took out one of the big red roosters and threw him outside today. He's not very happy. He wants to be inside the cage. But I haven't had any eggs in a couple weeks, so I have at least one egg eater. Now the chickens are not starving because I feed them too much, because I make sure that there's always food on the ground left over at the end of the day. So if they were starving, they would eat everything and there would be no food left over on the ground at the end of the day. So the egg eater, actually he's out there behind the gang. He has become a mega coward, and he has decided not to join the gang and take part in the pecking order. The bigger silver roosters are now the dominant birds, and Big Red, the big mouth there, he just sucked it up. That's the guy here in the front corner. He just, where's my finger? Oh well, I can't find my finger. Anyway, Big Red is right here. He just walked behind the door with a big fluffy tail feather. That's Big Mouth. And he just sucks it up and deals with it. He joins the gang. He doesn't let them bother him at all. He is lower in the pecking order, but little coward over there, he decided to not join the gang anymore and started eating eggs. At least I'm pretty sure it's him. So I took him out for now, and he, like I said, he's not happy being outside of the gang. And I tried to call him over to give him some food, and he just decided to do some exploring at first. So I'll see, because I haven't had eggs in weeks. I keep finding pieces of empty eggshell, so somebody is eating eggs, which is really, really annoying. I wanted to wring his neck right here now, but he's a greasy bird. He's disgusting. And I couldn't eat him if I wanted to. I'd have to be really starving to eat him, because his feathers are greasy. It's just not normal. He grosses me out. I don't know if that's for me a pure egg diet or what, but I can't stand touching the thing, let alone eating it. Yuck. So I'm going to try to figure out which birds are eating the eggs, and process of elimination. And I might have to, well, I don't know how I'm going to do it, separate the hens and see what happens then. But I've got to eliminate the egg eaters so I can start eating eggs. So, and then the propane guys were here with another bulk tank. They just sort of dropped it off. I got 50 gallons of gas, of propane. So that'll hopefully get me through for a while, because I was really nervous. They haven't been able to deliver with the bulk tank, and I paid for my gas in the beginning of November and still haven't, or beginning of December, and still haven't received a full delivery. So I was a little bit nervous of running out of my standby heat in case something happened here with the baby cat, if I was ever gone, because she doesn't have a winter coat. So we've got nice solar coming in to the off-grid tiny house on wheels today. Wow, a whopping 300 watts coming in right now. Now the voltage is at 15 volts. Some people are discussing how that's too high. Well, I don't think so. This is a TriStar Professional MPPT charge controller, and it is programmed for maintaining batteries, and 15 volts is not too high, especially for these massive forklift batteries. Now remember, we're not talking about little tiny car batteries. We're talking about forklift batteries. We're talking about massive 750 amp hour battery bank. So 20 amps is a trickle charge to these guys. 20 amps is nothing to these guys. Battery temperature is at 40 degrees, so the current entering them is heating them up a little bit, and which will of course further increase the amount of energy that the batteries have, well, usable energy I should say. I will be now shutting off all power consumption in the tiny house on wheels and see if I can get this to go to an equalize mode. Actually, hold on, let me pause. I'm going to do that in a minute here. Okay, I just manually set this into an equalize mode, and now it's going to pump more voltage. It's going to increase the voltage now to over 15 volts, well over 15 volts, and put an equalized charge into these batteries. So it's going to pull the maximum amount of current it can. Again, these are forklift batteries, 750 amp hours, so they can handle a lot of current. This is nothing for them right now. And so they're that's going to actually, hopefully, cause the gassing in the plates in the battery, and that will mix the acid up better with the distilled water, break up any lead sulfate crystals on the plates, and give me more usable energy out of these forklift batteries. Now I do have the battery lifesaver hooked up to the forklift batteries full-time as well, so the BLS is also doing its job permanently full-time on these forklift batteries. Alright, I'm going to test out my water tank. I want to see if this leaks or if it's going to hold water. Now I've got a 5-gallon jug from the creek. I just want to put a little bit of water in here before I clean it or use it or do anything with this tank. See if it's going to hold water. I'm going to put this on the ground so I can reach it first. Obviously I can't do this right here. Just hoping to keep the bottom clean and dry. Okay, that covers the bottom. That'll tell me if I have a leak or not. The idea here is simply to see if the bottom of this tank is going to be watertight or not. I've got some leakage out of the pipe connection on the bottom. Actually, I could tighten these up and stop all leaks right now. I might as well do it right. This is going to be a permanent part of this tank if there's no leak. Alright, so it's dripping out of the pipe joint that I put in, but I want to make sure that the actual... Let me take this off the tripod. See, I want to make sure that the tank itself doesn't leak, because these were all replaced for some reason. Oops, sorry. There you go. These were placed for some reason, and I don't know what that reason was. So I want to make sure there's no leak here on the bottom of the tank itself. Okay? And this is why I just put the water in here and do a drip test. Now, it's dripping here, which is fine because I didn't tighten that yet. And I'll do that in a minute. And I might as well, like I said, test it all thoroughly. And once that's done, then I can go ahead and put on the valves and everything and give it a thorough cleaning. Actually, I want to give it the thorough cleaning it before I put on the valves, but the water that's in it is going to be the water that I use for cleaning out the inside of the tank. So I'll get in there with a rag and a stick and swish it around nicely. This is not for drinking. I will not be drinking the water. Although this is a food grade container, I will not be drinking the water out of this tank. It would be just for bathing and dishwashing. I use filtered creek water directly for drinking, and eventually I'll be using rainwater in a cistern behind the tiny house on wheels and filter that for drinking. If I get the cistern, it doesn't give me the horrible plastic taste, and that big 275 gallon tote tastes like plastic. So maybe if I get one of these super clean for the rainwater collection system, or the series of the larger tanks that I have, then I might be able to use that, those tanks for drinking water. Because again, these are food grade tanks. So I got the third tank here that has 50 gallons of propane in it, and they did a leak test for me again to make sure. And now I've got standby heating for the tiny house on wheels. Now I've got, that'll get me through a while with 50 gallons, because I don't use the standby heat much. It's only in case I'm gone and baby cat's in the house, and to keep the pipes from freezing if I have to go away for an extended period, fire goes out or something. My batteries are audibly bubbling. I don't know if you can hear that. You can hear the bubbling sounds coming out of the battery bank. That's a good thing. That's necessary to equalize the battery cells. Yeah, I can hear the gases coming out. I can really hear it coming out. They're burping a lot. So that's good. As long as the sun is shining directly on those solar panels today, I'll get some good equalizing charge in here. That's very important for such a large battery especially. Drum roll please. This is a moment you've all been waiting for. Something many people are asking me. I see it in the comments again and again and again. What's upstairs? Why don't you show what's upstairs? Well, here we go. I don't show what's upstairs because it isn't finished. It hasn't really been begun. Here we go. Going upstairs. What's upstairs? There's a baby cat. That's it. No, just joking. Can I pass by? See that tail? She's not happy. I've been cleaning and sweeping. It was dusty up here real bad, so I swept, and baby cat doesn't like moving and cleaning. So here's where the bed's going to be, basically. Over there I've got some clothes and junk piled in the corner. So it was a mess up here. It was just, I threw stuff up here. This place is mouse free, so I had clothes just tossed in here out of the RV for protection. And I just neatly folded them before I'd show you the horrendous mess. You can see some jeans hanging in the side over here as well. Baby cat already made it her home. She thinks this is her place already. Her tail is still going, so she's mad. So you can see that I haven't done anything up here much. The insulation isn't even finished. See the gaps right there? That light's not hooked up. I was just experimenting with ideas. No insulation. No. I want to show you around. So this is what everybody's been asking about, and then I'll show you the reason I really came up here. Alright, this is why I don't show you the upstairs. It's construction materials. It's got my study desk, but see, we've got insulation, all kinds of insulation. Look, we've got uninsulated walls. Now right now it's 89 degrees in here, and probably 110 upstairs, because the sun shines in on the tiny house walls, heating the place. Then the radiant foil doesn't allow the heat to escape, and oh, it gets hot in here. So over there in the corner I've got more insulation. There's baby cat's tunnel. I threw that up there because I was just cleaning. I'll get it back down for her. I've got some radiant foil, piles of radiant foil. That's what's left over, what's going to go in the walls. So the walls in here are not done. I only did a part of the bedroom, and the walls are not done yet. So I've got a lot of work to do yet in the tiny house on wheels to get this place cleaned up and ready. So that shows you what's upstairs. A lot of people have been curious. Now, the reason I brought the camera up here is not to tell you about upstairs and to show you a lazy baby cat taking up the place. Of course, she's enjoying the heat, aren't you, baby cat? The reason I came upstairs is to show you where I think the water tank's going to be. This is reason is this is a what you could call a load-bearing wall, because there are 4 2x4s in a 5-foot section of wall right here. There are 4 2x4s underneath this 5-foot section of wall. So that means that will take a lot of, I mean, talking uprights. There are 4 studs, upright studs, under this section. So this can take a lot of weight, I'm thinking. The wall, this wall here, would be the ultimate best. But then my bed would be up against the stairway entrance, which would not be convenient at all. So I'd prefer to have the tanks, actually I'd really prefer to have the tanks on that back wall, one in the corner and one next to it. But then I wouldn't be able to have the leg room here to get to the window as needed. I'd have to literally climb over the bed to get to the window. And I would love to be able to have a small, I don't know, well this is an exceptionally big mattress. I pulled this out of my truck camper, and it's 7 feet long. It is a hospital mattress. I will probably take this out and put it back in the truck camper and get another air mattress for this area eventually, because this is too big. It's 7 feet. And it only leaves me about 2.5 to 3 feet of space up here, where it just makes it too tight. It's just too tight. So I would love to be able to have a little writing desk here and a chair, and be able to look out the window while I'm working at the desk sometimes. That would be just really nice, especially mornings and looking out. But with the water tanks over here, that would not be possible, because then the bed would be all the way up to this corner. And also this corner has the high wall, which I'd like to be able to use for bookshelves and closet space and whatever. I'd like to be able to use the high wall, and that would make that not possible. Now the water tanks fit here perfectly under the low ceiling. That's quite a few inches there. I don't know if it really shows as much as it is. It's about 4 inches between the tank and the ceiling, which is fine. That's perfectly enough. So, being how it is with the space up here, it looks to me like that's where the bed's going to have to be, in the corner, so that I have access to the window, as I said. And the water tanks will have to be here on the load-bearing wall, which, by the way, is the best place to put them weight-wise, because that'll be best distribution of weight on those 2x4s. It's a heavy-duty wall right there. And this lines right up on a floor joist below. That was intentionally designed and laid out so all the weight of this wall is transferred straight down into a floor joist. So that's another reason this would be the best place for that tank. All that weight would be transferred all the way through down to the trailer frame beneath. And that's the proper way of building things, from what I've learned since I started this project, and from commenters. So I want to thank you all for everything I've learned here. Now, this wall could take the weight, because there are, I forgot the proper word for it after thanking you all. The studs obviously go to the floor, and then the joists, the floor joists from the loft, go and are tied into the studs, screwed in with 2-3 screws, and then there's a 2x4 from the bottom of that all the way to the floor, under each and every one of the floor joists of the loft. That weight is transferred all the way down to the floor of the tiny house on wheels. So that would also be a good place to put the weight of the water. But then again, like I said, my bed would then be up against the entrance of the, of the stairway. One option would be, of course, as my friends have suggested, cut out the stairway here, move the bed over, call it a wall, cut that stairway out, and be done with it. Have that be the entrance. Close this off fully here, and that would be then an enclosed wall. So I could do that, and there would be less space for that. There are less hoses in here to run around and going around corners, because the shower, yeah, I'm actually thinking now I'm going to end up doing that. That's probably what I'll do. because the shower is right below the cat. Okay. Thank you, baby cat, for being a prop. So baby cat is right above the shower. If she was to fall through, she'd be in the shower right now. The bathroom sink is right here. We're going to be right here. And the kitchen sink is right behind me. So behind this trunk. So right down around here is the kitchen sink. So if I put the water tanks on this wall, maybe that is best overall anyway then. That can handle the weight. The weight is transferred all the way down. And then I'm going to go out to get the old barn wood. I'm going to cut two 2x8s. That's 16 inches at the base. I'm going to cut two 2x8s and lay them down parallel underneath the tanks. So it'll be 16 inches obviously. And that'll transfer the weight, or that'll distribute the weight across the entire floor area underneath the tanks. That'll distribute it better. So I'm going to rearrange the bed if the cat will allow me and see how that'll look. See how that looks when I move that around and put that over there. So we'll be back in a few minutes here and see how it goes. I'm thinking I like it. Honestly, it means rebuilding and putting a board up in here, continuing this across. But I'm thinking I like this because that's on the back wall. It's got proper weight distribution straight down to the floor of the tiny house itself. And then, I'm going to get down over here so I can show you better. We'll come up the stairs as if we're going to properly. See, this board will be cut out. Alright, and this will be closed off. And then this will be a handrail, a guardrail here. And then we would come up the stairway this way. Okay. And then there's the bed. And then there's the water tanks on the back wall right above the bathroom. Right above where the bathroom sink's going to be. Yeah, I think this is how it's going to be. Then it frees up that corner for my writing desk, as I said I wanted. And to access the window. So, yep. That gives me more space in the bedroom. Actually, it makes the bedroom bigger. Closing off this wall here. Opening up the stairway to here makes the bedroom bigger. So, alright. That's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to work out. So, we'll do it. So I'm going to go finish working on the tanks. Now I've got to leave early today. Today is Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. But I have to go to the JFK airport today and pick up two friends from church. Some girls from the UK are joining us. And I've got to go pick them up today. So I'm leaving in about half an hour, I think. So I won't get a lot done. I'm going to go and find another tank and do a pressure check on it, because this one is filthy and there's no point in wasting my time working on this one. It's really, really rusty, and I just don't feel like working on that one. I can just grab another tank and deal with that at another time. And then, I guess tomorrow I can work on the plumbing. Today I'll get the leak tests done on the tanks, and tomorrow I can install them. It won't take too much once I get started, I think. So I think that's it. I think that's how it's going to be. Then I can always drill a hole up through there for the hose to come in, the filler hose. And when I drive the truck up to the back of the tiny house on wheels, hook up to the hose, turn on the DC pump, fill my tanks, and I've got gravity feed water pressure at any given time. People are asking me, why do I want to have gravity feed and not just have a water pump? Well, if I have periods of low power, then I still have water running in here regardless. So I think it's a good way to go. Is it baby cat approved? Huh? Say hi to the camera. Psst, psst. She's still mad. She's taking possession of her territory right in the middle. I've got the wood stove damped right down, and this will tell you what the oh, if I can get in on it there. The sun is so bright. 105.4 degrees right now and 38 out. It's 105 degrees inside upstairs and 38 out. It's pretty insane. Yeah, it's hot. I gotta open up some more windows. That's what happens when the sun shines in here brightly, like it is right now. And I'm honestly sweating pretty good from being upstairs. Now looking here, I think I like that better with the tanks in the back, also because you can't really see them from here. That's just going to be better. So I think that's exactly how it's going to go. Alright, the leak test phase is taking forever, because I go and tighten it a little, and then I find a bit of a leak. There's a leak down there. And I tighten some more. I find a leak. I tighten some more until there's no leak. Well, this is important. I cannot take this in until the leak stops. Now I took this and laid it on its side, and I hit the elbow in there with a hammer to pound it tighter. And it seems to have stopped leaking for now, but I have to keep a close eye on it. And unfortunately I'm leaving in about 10-15 minutes, so I don't have much more time to play around and experiment with this. I got another tank out that I plan on working with. It too has rust in it. Unfortunately, that's going to be probably the general. Oh, it's not bad at all. I don't know if you can see the sunlight in there. But anyway, I guess you can take my word for it. It's not too bad in there. Not bad at all. So I'll do the leak test on that one as well. Problem is I only have one stopper to close that pipe off. It'd be nice to test two at once, but that isn't happening. So I've got to get the one to stop leaking, and then I can test the other one. And then I can take them upstairs into the tiny house, and I'll have running water eventually. So I got to get going and go pick up the girls at the airport. That's a 2.5 hour one-way trip. One way, so it's going to be about between 5 and 8 hours depending on traffic. Could be more, hopefully less. So we'll see how it goes. Hate to leave in the middle of such a beautiful day and sunny. That's good for the batteries. Leave them in rest. Let them let those forklift batteries get some good solar power today. Don't hear any bubbling anymore. It slipped out of equalize mode a while ago. Oh, they're bubbling a little yet. It kicked out of equalize a little while ago, so that's good. Very good for the batteries. Very good day today.